Katie, the Celestial Homebody, and I hope you are all having a wonderful day. And if you're not, maybe a little crochet will cheer you up. I have a ton of stuff to show you guys. I was very productive this week. I have been very productive this week despite having to film and redo my office, which, by the way, if you have not seen Friday's video, go watch my vlog about redoing my office and we go shopping and we have a good time. Go watch that if you have not already. But in addition to that, I feel like I got a lot done. I finished a bunch of WIPS that I have had sitting there for a while, and I designed a pattern. Well, I've actually had this pattern in my back pocket for a while, but I decided to actually type it up and release it. So let's start there, I guess, with my pattern. So if you do markets, think really quickly, what is one of your best sellers that you will not go to a market without? Was Loaf Cats one of your answers? If so, then I have the pattern for you. Everybody loves Loaf Cats, and I can attest to personal experience selling Loaf Cats at markets. They sell out every single time. I cannot make enough of them. So you'll know that I have a Renaissance fair coming up this spring, and I was like, I love making Loaf Cats for markets because they're easy and they don't involve a lot to them, like sewing and stuff. I can whip up a Loaf Cat in 25 minutes. And I was like, I need something like that. That's a good market make for Renaissance fair. And so I started thinking what sort of critters and creatures I could do something similar with. And I thought, unicorn. I just dropped one of them. Hang on. So I decided to make a Loaf unicorn, and this pattern is mine. I'll show you this first. I did make a little Loaf Cat. This is a mini Loaf Cat. I did less rounds in the body, but this is my own pattern. I just wrote it down months ago, and I don't even remember. Maybe I took bits and pieces from other patterns. I don't even remember, but this is the pattern that I've been using for my Loaf Cats. But again, I did less rounds on this, so it's not as big. It's a Loaf Kitten. So I kind of based it off of my Loaf Cat pattern, and this is low sew. So this is my Loaf Unicorn. Look at her. And then I also did this one with embroidered eyes. So just to show you could do either. And because I use sinker eyes, I couldn't get the needlework really close to the eye. So I need to figure out how to do the eyelashes. But for right now, they're just kind of there. They almost look like whiskers, but that's okay. I got this rainbow chenille. There's a couple different colorways. There's the pink, pink, blue, yellow, and white one. And then I've got this one, which is more primary rainbow colors, but it's pink instead of red. And then I have traditional primary colors. And then I have a blue, green, purple variegated. I got this chenille yarn on Amazon. And honestly, it is my favorite chenille to work with. It is so soft. It's so silky. It feels like if you've ever worked with what's it called? From Joann's. It's the really bougie one that's really expensive. It's by the celebrity. What is her name? The Juicy Couture line of yarn. That's what this feels like. And I got it in a huge pack of them, and it came with all of these variegateds, which has been great. I still have some of my stash back there. I use it for accents on everything. I absolutely love it. Excuse Jovi downstairs barking at the mailman. But here are my Loaf unicorns. So I did pink feet on this one and just plain white on this one. And I used burlap baby blanket in the sparkle because unicorns have to sparkle, right? Yeah, I think that they're so cute. And Loaf Cats normally take me 25, 30 minutes, and these take me about 45, so not much longer. Everything is crocheted in. The only thing that you have to sew on is the muzzle. And the muzzle went through a lot of trial and error because I was trying to make it a no-sew pattern, but I couldn't figure out for the life of me how to get it to look like a horse's snout with this, this shape, right? Because it's a loaf. With like I don't know, I couldn't figure it out with embroidery. I tried just doing, instead of having it like 3D popping out like this is pretty much a chain piece and you create an oval. But I tried just embroidering with pink, like back and forth, and it was flat, and then it made it look like it had lips, and it wasn't a cute look. So they're my Loaf unicorns. I actually have like 15 of these downstairs that I have made in the past because, like I said, I've had this pattern kind of in my back pocket for a while, but figured I'd share it with you. If you're interested in the Loaf unicorn pattern, it is on my Etsy. It's only a couple bucks on Etsy, and it will be linked in the description down below, of course, with every other pattern that I'm talking about today. So I have 2 Loaf unicorns. I honestly prefer the one with the embroidered eyes. It's hard with this yarn because it's so like bulky. It's hard to embroider little tiny details like this, but I love her little eyes. She's sweet. She's very, very sweet. I mean, the big sparkle eyes are fun too, but I think I prefer this one. Plus, then it's good because like the little tiny one, little tiny babies can have their little unicorn. You don't have to worry about safety eyes. So 2 Loaf unicorns. I also finished some WIPS that I have had in progress for a while. And a couple videos ago when I was talking about the little junimos from Stardew Valley that I put magnets in so that they can sit on your shoulder, I have a bunch of these that were limbless, so they all got limbs this week. And their little, what do you call this? Stem, antenna, leaf thing. So they all got arms and legs. And it's funny because I was following the same pattern and they all turned out exactly different sizes. Not a single one is the same size. So I have 2 blues. I have 2 greens. 2 greens. A yellow, this is the little guy that starred in that video. If you haven't seen my plushes inspired by video games video, by the way, I highly recommend it. It's just a couple videos ago. I had a lot of fun making those items. So we've got an orange, a blush pink, a neon purple, a classic red apple. He's got fluff on him. And finally, a like deep teal peacock guy. Oh, they all have little fuzzes all over them. Gosh. Anyways, I finished all the Junimo. And if you saw last week's Makes video, you know that I had a little friend who starred in it, Mushroom Guy. And I was saying how I wasn't very happy with the way that his cap turned out. And y'all yelled at me and threatened to break my kneecaps in the comments if I did not remake the mushroom cap. I'm kidding. But everybody said I should just remake the mushroom cap, which I was fine with because I now have a hat for me. I'm going to keep that mushroom hat and I'll wear it to the Ren Fair. Maybe I'll sell it. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, like what my fit is going to be for the Ren Fair. I was thinking I'd go as an elf because that's normally what I go to a Ren Fair as, but maybe I'll be a mushroom person this time. So I remade Mushroom Guy's cap, and y'all, I hate it. I hate it. So here he is. I still love his body shape. So I did his cap in Big Twist Posh in red. And then I want to say this is Croissant. No, Croissant is a lighter brown. I don't know. This is some brown from Big Twist Posh. And the sun is going down and it's getting really, really dark in here. And I don't have the overhead light on. So sorry if I look a little spooky. Looks like we're about to tell some ghost stories around the campfire in here. But I don't know what color brown this is, but it was kind of mushroomy. It wasn't like a super vibrant brown. So I used that, and then Big Twist Posh. Oh no, this is Baby Bear white. So I don't really like the way it came out, and I can't put my finger on why. So last time I was complaining about how the yarn that I used, the Michaels Chenille Home Slim, didn't have enough structure to give it shape. Well, this one has structure. That's why I chose the Big Twist Posh. Plus, it came out smaller because my last mushroom cap was way too big. So I actually sized down on a hook and used a smaller yarn following the same exact pattern, and it came out more of the correct size. But I think on this one, it is too structured, and I don't know. He looks very much like a Toad from Mario. I liked how the other one was kind of like, it was more like that. Does that make sense? Like it was more cupping his head versus just sitting on his head. And I did put a little bit of stuffing in there, like a minuscule amount of stuffing I put in there. And it looks like I stuffed it full, but I did not. That is, I don't know. I think it's just too structured. So I don't know, you guys. I was so excited about this mushroom guy because I love the way that his little head just, it's so cute. I was so excited about this little mushroom guy because I finished his body and his little ruffle collar, and I was like, this is my favorite thing ever. And then I've had troubles with the cap. So as much as I wanted originally to do 2 of them, I think this is just going to be his own guy. But hopefully somebody will love him. Maybe I'm just critical of my own work. I don't know. Does he look stupid? Don't tell me. I cry easily. There's Mushroom Guy. So my next WIP that I have had sitting for a while is something for my daughter, actually. So her favorite book is Angelina Ballerina. And by her favorite book, I mean I am projecting her favorite book onto her because she's only 4 months old and she doesn't know what the heck is going on. But Angelina Ballerina is something that I read to her and her dad read to her while she was in my belly all the time, and we read it to her now. We read her books every single night. I'm a former teacher, if you did not know, so reading is really important to me. So we read her multiple books a day. But Angelina Ballerina is in the rotation at least twice a week. So I wanted to make her a little Angelina Ballerina lovey snuggler. And so this is how she turned out. How precious is she? Oh my gosh. I of course did the embroidered eyes because it's going to be for little baby. Now, she's too little to like enjoy this right now, but when she gets a little bit older, I think she'll love it. It's the perfect little kid size. And it makes sense because she's a mouse. So I have had this one. Oh, there's her little tail. I have had this one sitting for a while because I used Baby Bear cream for the body, and then for her little ballerina outfit, I used the Baby Bear pink. I forgot the shade name of it, and I ran out of it, and I needed to do the little skirt, and I don't know if you can tell, but the skirt is slightly a different color. That's because every time I go to Joann's, I forget to pick up the pink Baby Bear. And so I just went to my pink yarn stash and picked out the closest pink color in Parfait Chunky that I could find. And it was nighttime and it was dark, and I finished this, and then in the daylight I looked and I was like, that's not the same shade of pink, which is a bummer because I have this exact same shade of pink in Parfait Chunky. It is called Ballet Pink. This is their cotton candy, so it's slightly lighter pink. So I'm a little upset at myself about that. I could always go back and redo that, but I think it's okay. You know, it makes it look like it's a separate piece, you know, her little tutu on her leotard. She's a knotted lovey, and for this pattern, I used the Mama Made Minis knotted lovey pattern book. You can get it on Amazon. I'll link it in the description. And there is no mouse pattern, but I'm a wily, crafty person, so I just took bits and pieces from different patterns in there. So I think the head was the fox pattern. Maybe the ears were from, I don't think the ears were from anything. I think I just did circles for the ears. I don't know. I did this earlier this week, so I don't remember. But there is my sweet little Angelina Ballerina lovey. Oh my gosh, I can't even. Her little face is just so stinking cute. So that was all the WIPS that I had. And so I wanted to work on something new. And if you saw a couple vlogs ago, I was on the hunt for some fur to make Stacy Makes his new squirrel pattern, Nutmeg the squirrel. And I found some at Hobby Lobby, and it was like a darker brown, and it was like almost like an ombre, where toward like the root of the fur, it was almost black or like dark gray. And then it got like ombre to brown. And I was putting off doing the squirrel because I was like, I think I can find fur that I like better than this one. So I did. So the other day when I was at Joann's, they had their faux fur line on sale for like $5 or $6. It was a really good deal. So I picked up some in the color Red Panda, and it is the perfect squirrel tail color. So let me grab my little family of squirrels here. So the color that I used for the squirrel body is Big Twist Plush. Don't know the shade name, but it is like a dark, like a cinnamony brown. Look at him. He's like a dark cinnamony brown, and then this Red Panda fur from Big Twist matches like perfectly. I could not have asked for a better match. So this is the first one that I did, and I think because I used such a big yarn, and I used an 8mm, I think it was an 8mm hook. I used one of the Prim plastic hooks, which plastic hooks, ugh, am I right? Anyways, use one of the Prim hooks because I don't have any metal hooks in the bigger sizes. And Prim does not put their millimeter size on the hooks. So I think it was an 8mm. I was like the teal one. So if you have the Prim hooks, I use the teal one. I think it was 8. So I think because I used such a big yarn and such a big hook, I mean, he came out a good, that is like a life-size squirrel. But when I went to do the ears, I followed the pattern instructions, and he kind of looks like Mickey Mouse. His ears are just too big, again, because I think the yarn is just too thick. So I did another one. Oh, and I did embroider his little white eye detail. So I did another one, and I altered the ear pattern a little bit, and I think his ears came out a lot better. Not as mousy, you know, more squirrely. I freaking love this so much. Stacy, you did such an amazing job with this. They're just so cute. The second I saw this pattern, I was like, I need that. And by the way, my mother-in-law, Diane, hi, I know you're watching. She loves squirrels. And yes, I will make you a squirrel, but I need these for inventory for right now. But I promise I will make you a squirrel. So I actually did 1, 2, 3 squirrels. I did 3 of them. And what should we name them? I'm thinking... well, one has to be called Nutmeg because that's the pattern. So we'll name our first one Nutmeg. I also put his ears a little too close to his eyes, but so we've got Nutmeg. How about Cinnamon? And I don't know. I don't cook. What's another spice? Let me know in the comments. What's another like baking spice? Is vanilla considered a spice? I don't bake. Look, I am good at many things, but I'm the first to admit that I cannot bake or cook to save my life. My husband cooks everything. I don't know why mine turned out so fat. Maybe I'm just projecting my own insecurities onto these squirrels, but my stitch count was right. I checked multiple times throughout, and on all 3 of them, they're just extra chunky. And I mean, that's okay. Maybe that's how it's intended to be. I was just looking at like the pattern tester pictures, and I feel like mine are fatter than all of theirs. I don't know. Maybe I have loose tension. I also do yarn over, which makes things more like elongated. So maybe when I stuff it, you know, it makes them... He's bulbous. but that's okay. We love them still. So I did the squirrels, and then I had the pattern out, and I was like, I feel like I could do a skunk with this very easily. I just used black yarn and then white for the fur instead. I did not have any white fur, so I used, I never remember the name of it. I feel like it's like Squeaky or something. That's not the name, but I know it's in the baby section. I believe it's a Bernat brand. It's this stuff. Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but hopefully you guys will know. So I just did a little skunk with the black and white, and I mean, same exact squirrel pattern. I don't know if she has a skunk pattern, but if she doesn't, then you can mod this one. Skunks typically have a little bit longer snout, so you could do a couple more rounds, I feel like. I don't know. If she has a skunk pattern, go buy her skunk pattern. I don't want to take away business from her, but I had the squirrel pattern out. I had the black sitting out because I had just done this loaf cat with the green eyes. And so I said, I might as well just do it. So same pattern, but look at the size difference between using Big Twist plush versus this might as well be Parfait Chunky. It's not. This is Chenille Home Slim from Michaels, but it was a really bad skein that was so thin and so waxy. And because of how thin it was, I think it turned out about the size of Parfait Chunky would. So there's the size difference, same exact pattern. So I placed an order recently on Premiere for the Chenille Brights, and I got a bunch of black in that. So I think I'm going to try this guy again, or the squirrel pattern again, and the skunk variant with that, and maybe it'll turn out bigger. Or I'll just use black Big Twist plush. I always get them mixed up. I just need to go pick some up from Joann's. Oh no, another yarn shopping trip. Boo-hoo. I think I would like them all to be the same size, because when I make possums, they're about this size as well. So I'll probably just lump them all together and do a sign that's like possums, squirrels, and skunks. $18 or whatever the price is I decide to put on them. So this one might be in the clearance basket just because he turned out so much smaller, even though it was the same exact amount of work. He actually was a little bit more work because I had to surface crochet his white stripes, which, by the way, skunks do not have one stripe. Pepe Le Pew, lettuce awry. If you actually look up a picture of a skunk, they have like the V, and their tails lay more flat along their back, so I tacked it a little bit higher up on his body. So there's my skunk. Oh, I also did white eyes on him because it's black, so you can't really see the eyeballs. So I just did white, and I think they're cute. And skunks normally have black noses, but again, it's black yarn, so I did a little pink snoot, and he's cute. So while I had the black yarn out, I decided to do some Stardew Valley chickens. I think I started a trend with this. Robin at Naughty Hook Crochet was saying how like she's seeing the Stardew chickens everywhere. And like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I did not see any Stardew Valley chickens until I made that video a few videos ago. So maybe I'm a trendsetter. If I'm not, then just let me have this, okay? I have very little in my life, so let me have this moment. So I was watching Robin's video, and she did her chickens a little bit differently than how I had done them in that video. And I absolutely love the shape of her chickens. So I copycatted Robin, if you're watching. I love this relationship that we have. It's like you learn stuff from me, I learn stuff from you. We're both better crocheters. We both make more money at markets. Love it. So before I show you the black yarn ones, I did some blue chickens. So instead of going straight across, I gave them like a little head, like Robin did. And these look a lot more like the shape of a Stardew Valley chicken. This sun is just not making up its mind what it wants to do. I'm so sorry if the lighting is awful and I'm like side lit. But I did 1, 2. I gotta grab all of them. Give me a sec. I went ham on the chickens, you guys. I did 7. And this isn't even all of them. I've got more over there that I'm about to show you. So I did 7 of the blue chickens. And I, of course, gave them the little tail because blue chickens in Stardew Valleys have the little curly whirly tail. All the other color chickens do not. So I just did chain 5. I increased in the first chain or second chain from hook and then single crocheted all the way down, slip stitch back into the body. So Robin, if you want to make yours a little bit more accurate to the game, you can add their little tail feathers, and I think it just adds a little something to them. You know, they're cute. And besides changing the shape of them, I'm happy that I redid them. So if you saw that video where I originally introduced the Stardew chickens, I also did a tutorial on how to make the just like the flat body keychain style. I was using a color of Chenille Home Slim, and I think the color was like cornflower or country blue or something like that. It was like a deeper, more muted blue color. And then for the comb, I was using Parfait Chunky, I believe in the color Iris, and it was a very dark chicken. And while the colors are accurate to the game, you know, like blue and purple, they were not like accurate shades. So these are like the exact shades that you should use if you want it to be as accurate as possible to the game. So this is Chenille Home Slim, and I can't think of the color name, but it is the exact same shade as Parfait Chunky Azure. Azure, I can never say that right. Azure. I don't know if you should put a sh on it or just a z, you know, Azure. Anyways, that color in Parfait Chunky is like the same exact shade, so use that if you have that. And then for the comb, this is the perfect color purple. It is Big Twist Posh and like this electric purple. I believe the color shade is called Smoothie Bowl. Yeah. This is it. This is it. And these turned out a good size too. By the way, no, I don't have a pattern for these. I just freehanded it. I mean, it's not difficult to do. If you have like the Mabel chicken pattern, just follow that and then just slip stitch off the head and then do a couple more rounds in the head. And then like I explained for the tail feathers, you can do that. So I did 7 Stardew Valley blue chickens. And then I wanted to do some other color of Stardew Valley chickens, and I plan on doing more of these when I get my order of the Chenille Brights in, because I want to use like their like mustardy color. I don't have any mustard yarn, and in Stardew Valley there are 4 chicken colors. There's the blue, which is like the special iconic color chicken that's very rare. You have to jump through a bunch of hoops to get it on your farm. There's the black chicken, well, like the rooster, and then there are like the standard ones are the cream and the mustard color chicken. So I want to do some of those too. But since I had that black really awful Chenille Home Slim yarn out, I decided to do some black chickens. And these guys, look at this baddie. This looks like a guy that would break your kneecaps, right? And have a strong Brooklyn accent. Hey, I'm walking here. I think that was New York. I don't know. I'm uncultured. He definitely needs a lint roll. I made 3 of the black chickens, and I mean that he looks so good with the red comb. I think that they have wattles too, so I need to go back and look at a picture. I can't remember if the Stardew Valley black chickens or black roosters have the wattle, but if they do, I will go back and add that. And they definitely need lint roll because, I mean, they're black yarn. And because this was the very awful Chenille Home Slim, it stained my hook, you guys. It stained my very expensive tulip crochet hook. And you have to let me know, please tell me in the comments if you have any ideas of how I can get the dye off of my very cute, girly pink crochet hooks, because I am very upset about it. My crochet hooks were like $95. So on sale. So I'm really upset about it. I tried a magic eraser, and because they're like silicone grips, it just shredded my magic eraser. So I don't know, like it would vinegar work. I don't know. Give me any suggestions that you may have because I'm upset about it. All right, I have one more thing to show you guys today. I'm just looking around me, making sure I got everything. Yeah, just one more thing to show you guys today. And you saw it in the thumbnail. And if you saw Friday's vlog about redoing my office, you already got a little sneak peek about this. And it is a Sylveon. So if you don't know who Sylveon is, she is a Pokemon. And she is an evolution of the animal or the Pokemon Eevee. This is the fairy type evolution. She's got her little bow wraparound thingy-majig and her sweet little pink tail. I absolutely love Sylveon because her colors, y'all know me, you know that I'm a sucker for pastels, and she is a pastel queen. So I had to do her. This is by, I believe, Pebbles Crochet on Etsy, and she has, I think at this point, all of the evolutions, and I plan on doing more of the evolutions. She turned out a pretty good size, and it honestly did not take me as long as I thought that it would with like all of the sewing, because you have to sew on every single part of this. Every extra part that you see was sewn on, and the color changes and stuff. It didn't take me very long at all, actually. I'd say it only took me about an hour and a half. I took breaks in between, but I was just binge watching Ghost Adventures and working on this. Yes, I like spooky shows like Ghost Adventures. And she turned out very, very cute, especially with her eyes. This is the very first time I've ever hand painted eyes. Look at me go. I'm writing patterns. I'm hand painting eyes. I think I'm a real crocheter YouTuber now, you guys. I think I've made it in life. I decided to give her these beautiful blue eyes to go with her blue accents. And I used Burnout Baby Blanket for both the pink and the white, and then for the blue colors, this is Sweet Snuggles Light, and then the darker blue is Chenille Home Slim and the color Cornflower, which, by the way, this is the color that I had originally used for the Stardew Valley chickens, and then there's the new color. Do you see the difference? How like this one was just a lot more muted and not as cartoony? So there's my little Sylveon. I would like to do more evolutions, like I said, and I need to order some bigger eyes. I think, as adorable as she is, I think that she'd be even cuter if she had some bigger, like, white eyes. So I need to order some. I only have one size of white eyes, and I want to say these are 18 millimeter, but I need to, like, oh my gosh, imagine that with 30 millimeter safety eyes. Oh my goodness, she'd be stunning. I don't know what kind of price I'm going to put on this. Probably like $45. I mean, because it was a lot of sewing, but I don't know. I can't decide like indefinitely my prices right after I make something. I write it down on, I have like a spreadsheet where I write down my estimated price. So while it's fresh in my mind, like how much time it took me, how much I enjoyed making it, because I do take into account my enjoyability of making it while I price items, because I will charge more if I absolutely hated it. And I'll charge less if it was a super easy make. So while that's fresh in my head, I will like jot down what I'm thinking. But until I have everything like lined up, you know, preparing for to actually go to market, then I'll solidify my prices, because, you know, like something this size might be $45 compared to something next to it that is the same size that's $20. You know, like I need to see it all lined up. So I used to tag every item as I made them, which is definitely the smart way to do it, because if you've ever had to tag items for markets, you know how long it takes. It takes like 10 years of your life. So, temporarily, I have her put down for 45, but we'll see. Our question of the day today is, what is your favorite ice cream flavor? When I was a kid, it was bubblegum, which is ugh, but now mine is cookie dough. Leave me a comment down below with what your favorite ice cream flavor is. Well, that is all that I have for today, you guys. I had a lot. This entire Marshall's bag was full of stuff from this week. And it's funny because during the week as I'm crocheting, I'm like, this is not that much. I'm not going to have anything to show these people. And then I put them all in my bag and I bring them up here and sit down to film. And I'm like, wow, I was actually really productive. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me today. If you're interested in that loaf unicorn pattern, go check it out on my Etsy. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.